Hello everyone, I'm Arunima from Knit and Otter, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make these slippers. I've been making a bunch of slippers lately and I'm experimenting with simple construction, and this is one of those in one of the series where it's a very simple pattern where you make an L-shaped fabric and there's no shaping in terms of while you're crocheting, but then there's once you have the L-shaped fabric, then you shape it into these slippers by seaming. So I'm going to talk about all of that, and let's start with what you'll need to make these. There's very little things that you need to make these. Actually, you just need yarn. So I've used Stroll Tweed yarn. It's fingering weight yarn, and it is superwash merino wool and a little bit of nylon in there, and it has tweed. I really like the tweed in this, and I've used these two colors, lavender field heather and indigo heather. So in this video, we're going to make this in US size 8. So that's the size I wear. So I've made it for myself, but I will have I'll have different sizes available for it. The pattern will be on my blog, and it will be available as a PDF purchase on my shop. So you are welcome to check that out if you want the written pattern. But let's move ahead. So that's the yarn, and there is a tapestry needle for weaving in ends. There is the crochet hook, the Tunisian crochet hook, and a scissors. So that's pretty much all you need to make this. Let's get started. So let me quickly show you what this looks like and explain what the construction is going to be like. So this is built in one piece, where this is the longer leg of that L. So this would be the bottom, and then we'd make this portion on top. It would be in an L shape, and then we do some shaping where we'd fold this here and do some seaming here, and then some seaming here and seaming here, and that's pretty much it to construct these. If you want these lines to be lower or higher, you can move them as you need them to be, and you can even add any design you want over here. So it really is a very flexible pattern. You can do whatever different designs you want to do with it. There's one thing I realized, that I have a wide foot, so this was slightly tight at the front, and you can see how this is stretching a bit. So maybe if I made a slightly larger size, it would work out better, but it's not uncomfortable. It's just stretching a bit over here. So I just wanted to show you that it's fitting just fine on this, which is not a wide foot. Mine is really wide, so that just stretched that out over there because I've been wearing this. But that's all there is about this. So you create an L-shaped fabric and you just seam it so that you get this shape. So I'm going to start with the lavender field heather yarn color. So we're going to start with this section here first. We'll build this part, this panel. We'll start with 60 chains. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 59, 60. So that's 60 chain. And I'm going to now turn this and find that back bump here and insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, and that's my first, well, this is the first, but this is my second foundation row stitch. So I'm going to do that for every chain here. I'm going to pick up the back bump, yarn over, pull through. There's 2 remaining, so that's 59 and 60. So I am not using a corded hook for this because I can easily hold all of these stitches on this hook directly. So if you think that you're not able to, then you will need a longer hook or a hook with a cord. So this is the end of the forward pass for the foundation row. For the reverse pass, I'm going to chain 1 and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way to the beginning of this. This is how it's looking at the end of the foundation row after completing the foundation row. So now the pattern is really simple. Actually, you just have to make rows of Tunisian simple stitches. So I'm going to make a row of simple stitches on top of this foundation row. So this one counts as the first stitch. So we're going to leave that alone. And then we're going to pick up the vertical bar of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. We're going to do it for every stitch. And the last stitch here. And this is the end of the forward pass for the first row, and then yarn over, chain, and yarn over, pull through 2 all the way to the beginning for the rest of it. That's how it's looking at the end of row 1. So I'm going to now make a total of 19 rows after the foundation row of Tunisian simple stitches with the same number of stitches. So no increases or decreases, just a total of 19 plus foundation rows of simple stitches in this color, and I'm going to complete that, and I'm going to see you on the other side of this video. So I've completed the foundation row plus 19 rows, and you can see that it's curling quite a bit, and that's normal. I'm going to block it, but in this pattern it doesn't matter too much because of the way the slippers are worn. So it'd be okay even if you don't want to block, but it would be better if you did. It always helps. So I just wanted to show you that this is normal for this. So if it is curling so much, it's okay. So what I've done is I've stopped here at my row 19 with 2 loops on the hook, and now I'm going to change color here. So this is how we change color at the beginning of the forward pass. So this is going to be my new color for the next row. So just pick this up and pull through. So that is how we change color at the beginning of the forward pass, and I'm going to now make a row of simple stitches with this color. So just like we were doing earlier. So this is how it is after the end of the forward pass. I'm going to start making the reverse pass now. So that's chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way to the beginning of the row. I'm now stopping at this point where I have 2 loops on the hook because I'm going to change color again. So this was foundation row plus 19 rows of simple stitches in one color, and then change color in 1 row of simple stitches. So if you look at our slippers here, so now there's 1 row of this color, and then we go back to the previous color again, and then another row of this. So I'm going to do that, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 rows of the lighter color again. So just continue making these, and I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to meet you on the other side of the video where we'll start making this section. Here I am now with this section done, where I've made a foundation row, 19 rows of simple stitches in the first color, and then change color, made 1 row in the dark, then another light, another dark, and then 7 rows of the light. So that, if you look at the slipper here, that completes this entire section. And now we're going to work on this part. So there's a reason why I've marked this point with a stitch marker, and that is because the 2 slippers are going to be made differently from this point on. There's this very small difference. So there's the difference is that in one slipper the dark section will be built on this side, this half, and the other slipper it will be built on this side. So with the slipper that I've already made. I'm going to show you how I did it, but in this one, I've made the dark section on this side, uh, on on this side. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm not going to do the entire thing because I already have that one. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. And then I'm going to move on and do it on this side and show you how to do that. So let's start with making it for how I've already done it in the other slippers. So for that, what I've done is I've marked the center of this row. So this is uh, 30 stitches from here, counted 30 stitches from here, and this is a stitch marker that is the point between those two. So this is the center of this row. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind off this part. So I'm going to bind off all the way until here. And then I'm going to attach the darker yarn on this side and make simple stitches, rows of simple stitches here. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So for binding off, I'm just going to make a simple stitch and then slip stitch. So that's a slip stitch bind off. There's a single crochet bind off as well that you could do, but I prefer this one for this project. So just simple stitches and slip. So here I am at just before the stitch marker, and this is where I'm going to stop. And I'm going to remove the stitch marker right now because I've reached where I want it to be. And I'm going to grab my other yarn. And at this point, I'm going to insert my hook in the next vertical bar and pull through and then slip. Just tighten that a little bit. And that binds off 30 stitches here. And I'm going to just start making simple stitches here. So this will count as the first stitch of this row. This is the second, and I'm going to keep going. The last stitch, and make the reverse pass like I normally would. Let's chain one and yarn over, pull through two. Here. This is how it looks. And you see here, this join is seamless. So when this is the part that it is here, you can see that uh, it's the join is pretty seamless, and you can't really make out the transition. Uh, so that's what that part is. And after this, I'm gonna go ahead and make a total of 30 rows of simple stitches. So this would count as the first one, and then 29 more rows of simple stitches, and then a bind off row. So I'm not going to continue doing this because this is the slipper. This is the same as the slipper that I already have. I just wanted to show you how to do this side, and now I'm going to unravel this, and I'm going to show you how to uh, do it for the other slipper. I'm back at the same place where I am on the last row of this previous section, and I have my stretch marker right here marking the center of this row. And so what I'm going to do now is in this section, for this slipper, I'm going to make the next section, the section 2 on this side. So we need to bind off this part, the 30 stitches on this side, then make the next section on this side. So what I'm going to do is I completed this, but I should have actually stopped at point where I had 2 loops on my hook, just so. So when I have 2 loops on my hook, I'm going to go ahead and put another stitch marker here so I don't lose them. So here, this is where I'm going to attach the darker yarn and work on this in the next section, but that will have to wait. I'm now going to cut this because I'm done with this yarn over here. I'm going to cut it. Sorry about the noise these stitch markers are making. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this yarn at the stitch at the vertical bar before that stitch marker and not after. So this would be the 30th stitch from this side. And you'll see why I'm doing that, just to make sure that we have full coverage and we have a smooth transition even in this slipper. So here, I join this. Okay. And then I'm now going to remove the stitch marker and I'm going to make a simple stitch and bind off. So I'm going to do this until the end of this row. So that would be binding off 30 stitches on this side. And here's the last one. And that's it. And now I'm going to cut this yarn. Fasten off. And I'm going to weave in that end. And this one, I'm going to do it later, but let me show you how this is looking. So here it is. This is how it looks. We made 30 bind off stitches on the side. So that section is complete now. From here, and now we're going to start working on this side, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker now and insert my hook. I'm going to grab my other yarn and yarn over and pull through. So this is the same as what we were doing earlier to change color at the beginning of the forward pass. That's exactly what I've done. And now I'm going to make simple stitches. We need 30 simple stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, that's 28, 29, and I'm going to make the 30th one. It's a little slanted if you see. That's because we had joined the yarn there and started the bind off from this stitch. So, but I'm going to pick that up and make my 30th stitch here. So that's 30 loops on my hook. And then I'm also going to insert my hook and pick up the 2 vertical bars here from that bind off, slip stitch bind off. Made it a little tight, so note to self that this should be a little loose. And yarn over, pull through. And slip. So that sort of joined with that kind of stitch here. So this won't be this won't stretch out when you're wearing your slippers. So this now that the loop that we have on the hook, that will count as the last stitch for this row. And then I'm going to make the reverse pass by making a chain 1 and yarn over, pull through 2 all the way to the beginning of this row. So there it is. That's one row in the next section here, and this part is complete. So we let it be, and we're just going to continue working on this. I'm going to make one more row and show you, and then you need to make a total of 30 rows in this color. So this section and the next section will have the exact same number of rows. So 30 rows here total and 30 rows there. Sorry, this might be hard to see, but I picked the darker yarn for contrast and doesn't make very good yarn for filming videos, but it's just simple stitches that I'm making, and I've already gone over that in the earlier section of this. And the last stitch will be made by picking up the two vertical bars here and yarn over, pull through, and then chain one and yarn over, pull through two all the way to the beginning of this row. So here, this is how it's looking, and this is just you just build on it over here and make a total of 30 rows. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a total of 30 rows in this color with 30 stitches and not 60. So 30 stitches, 30 rows, and I'm going to make a bind off row in the end. So I'm going to complete all of this and then show you how it looks, and then we'll talk about how to shape. So this is how it's looking after completing this portion and this portion, and I also blocked it, so you don't really have to, I think, in any pair of slippers here, because the way they sit on the foot, it doesn't really require blocking, but I did just to show you how it is. And so for this slipper, this section comes on this side. For this one, it was on this side. So that's the big difference in between these two. But aside from that, it's everything is the same. And now I'm going to show you how to shape this to make the slipper. So if you look at this in front, there is this little shaping over here to make this a little flat at the toe. Otherwise, it'd be too pointy or you can get uncomfortable. So if you look at the other side, and so I folded this portion. So this part is here, this part. So this is how the slipper will be. This is how you'll be wearing it. So this is the part which will be folded down, and this will be the toe. And we will seam it from these two sides here. And then I'm going to seam it all the way to the back and then all the way here. That's pretty much all there is. And I want to show you how much this fold is, how to measure it. So I have this at about 4 centimeters here. So this completely depends on how you want to do it, how much, how wide you want this to be. You can make the fold a little smaller, and it would you could go say 3 centimeters, and this would be narrower here. I have a wide foot, and so this is comfortable for me. But if you want it narrower, you can just make a smaller fold. And the other thing is, I used this color for the base to do the seaming, and well, it's fine. I think it's okay because this is the bottom. It doesn't really show. But if you want, you could switch to the lighter color or whatever color you're using in this section to seam this portion. And actually, either color will work here because it has both these colors. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to start doing it, and I'll show you how. So here it is. I'm going to now fold this from the side, and I counted in my other slipper. So this is about 10 stitches. So I'm going to fold it at about the 10th stitch here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 there. And I'm just going to take, so this will be seamed with the edge, the same edge. So this edge with the same edge here, like this. So I'm going to attach this. I threaded the yarn onto a tapestry needle, and I should have done this earlier, but I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to go ahead in so I don't have to do the end later. Okay, so 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm sorry, I should have done it the other way around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to sew it with the back facing front like this. It doesn't have to be exact. A little bit of difference between the two slippers will not make a huge difference overall. So I'm not too concerned about matching them exactly. I'm just going to seam these. Now I'm done with this side. I could do a double seam, but I don't really need to. So I'm going to go back here so I can seam this other side as well. Going to my yarn through and bring it back to where we started. And then now this push, this side of the seam will be joined with here. So fold it into this triangle and join this here. Then I'm going to go back again. Okay. Now I'm going to seam the bottom edges. So here there's that little V, and that's this part right here. I know it looks a little big in this one. That's because this is stretched out. This will also be stretched out once I start wearing it. So uh, for now, this is how it is, and just going to go ahead and seam the bottom edge, the two edges at the bottom. So the bottom here is done, and now I'm going to seam the back, the entire thing all the way. So this is this part. Here is the slipper, and we've done this, and we've done this, and now we're going to do this part. Here I'm at the back, and I'm just going to go in a few times to make sure that the back is secure. And then just weave this on them. Now flip this. Here, this is how it's looking. And I'm going to put it on a foot and show it to you. This is how these are looking. They are symmetrical. If you've seen the video, you know that there's a slight difference in construction in both of these, but they're both L-shaped and they're super easy to make. This is just made of simple stitches and a few color changes. You can even make them without color changes, or you could add more. So there's a lot that we can do with these. I really enjoyed making them, and I hope you will too. In this video, I made size 8 slippers. So these are US women's size 8 slippers. And I will have a bunch of other sizes for this, from ranging from baby to women adults. So if you want to make a different size, you're welcome to check out my blog. I have a bunch of other slippers patterns if you're interested. I actually went on to making a series of slippers. I may have I know that I have published two patterns before this at the time of filming this video, but I'm going to have more. So please do check out my website. I'm going to leave all the links in the description below. I have a bunch of other Tunisian crochet patterns and tutorials if you want to check them out. So feel free to look at my blog and reach out to me if you have any questions. I hope you will enjoy making these. Bye bye.